Hi everyone, my name is Emily Tofty-Nastava. I'm the Executive Director of the Rocky Mountain Victim Law Center.
And I'm Ashley Ahrens, the Client Services Director.
The Rocky Mountain Victim Law Center exists to uphold and transform the criminal justice system by enforcing the victims' rights throughout the state of Colorado.
And we're here today to talk about an important decision that came down from the VRA Subcommittee through the Department of Criminal Justice. And the VRA is the Victim Rights Act.
The Department of Corrections made a decision not to inform the victims of the Aurora theater shooting case of the location of the defendant. Under the Victim Rights Act, victims have the statutorily guaranteed right to know where their defendant is being incarcerated upon a written request. Victims in this case requested this information from the Department of Corrections, and the Department of Corrections cited concerns about the defendant's safety and security of their staff as a reason why they were not going to disclose this information.
So the decision that the VRA Subcommittee made after much deliberation was a split decision. 3 individuals voted in favor of a basis in fact, and 3 voted that there was not a basis in fact. And so when a split decision occurs with the VRA Subcommittee, it ends in a non-basis in fact, which is an unfortunate decision.
It's unfortunate because this means that basically the subcommittee decided that there was no violation of the victim's rights in this situation. And the statute clearly states that the victims have this absolute guaranteed right to information about the incarcerated defendant.
And so our office takes a stance that this was an injustice today. You know, we speak to the idea that victims in this case have a lot of different reasons that they may want to know the whereabouts of the offender. That includes for their own personal safety, for a sense of understanding and comfort that the individual is still incarcerated and at a level of security that they believe is important and is really reflective of the serious nature of the crime.
And in addition to that, it's for their own healing process. To have information about the person who has done them so much harm is really a basic right that our statute states that victims should absolutely have, and that their rights should be upheld as equally as a defendant's rights. And in this case, the defendant's rights are being violated. And we also know that the Department of Criminal Justice frequently houses dangerous individuals, and they're able to keep themselves and those who are incarcerated safe. And we don't understand why this needs to be different.
And victims, as we all know, don't choose to opt in to be a victim in a case, to be involved in the criminal justice system. And so it's important that we remember that an individual who is a victim of a crime is entitled to certain rights. And as we pull those away, or we talk ourselves into technicalities about why those rights aren't important or shouldn't be upheld, is an injustice to victims on all cases, not just this case, but on all cases. It creates a sense that victims' rights don't matter, the Victim Rights Act should be taken lightly.
And these rights should be upheld as vigorously as anyone else's rights. And today they weren't. And we're disheartened by the decision by the subcommittee not to uphold victims' rights.
We think that this sets an important precedent that we'll talk about in future videos, but wanted to make a note today that we don't think that this is a decision, although it does create a difference in treatment for victims of this particular crime. It also sets a precedent that is disheartening to our office to hear, and to potentially expect to hear calls from other individuals who might be experiencing something similar in the future.
You know, it's important to Rocky Mountain Victim Law Center that these rights are consistently enforced and that they are meaningful to victims. And unfortunately, we feel the message sent to victims today was that depending on what kind of crime and how high profile the crime is that you've experienced as a victim, you may or may not get your rights upheld. And that is not the letter or the spirit of the law, and we really wish there had been a different outcome. That said, victims have the chance again to appeal the decision made today, and there are still future options, and we look forward to hearing what happens upon appeal.
And so if you'd like to learn more about today's decision, the impacts it has had, or to learn more about what we do as an organization, please click the links that are available in the description of this video. We thank you for taking the time to listen, and again, appreciate everyone's commitment to fight for victims' rights.